Welcome to one and all. Today we are going to do an actual Ho Tung story. Our starting point is the will of Sir Robert Hotung. This is a will that has been kept secret from the general public for good and bad reasons. So let's get it up on the screen. One will note the will was probated in Hong Kong on 26 May 1956 after Sir Robert's passing, which was on 26 April 1956. We see at Clause 2 that the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank was appointed as executor and trustee of the will. It is noted my father, Eric Hotung, testified under oath that he was dissatisfied with HSBC's performance in this capacity, but that is not the story for today. At Clause 4 and 5, the details of the conditions of where Sir Robert was to be buried in the Protestant cemetery in Happy Valley are written out. At Clause 24, Sir Robert directed the
trustee to erect 2 tombstones with railings in memory of my late wife, Lady Margaret Ho Tung, and myself, if this has not been done during my lifetime, and to defray the cost thereof out of my residuary estate.
It is noted these terms were not strictly adhered to, and it was only after I started litigation that a marble border was placed around the graves, which technically are not railings, but this is also a story for another day that would entail explaining the respective litigation. Nevertheless, the trustee, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, manages the Sir Robert Hotung Charitable Fund that continues to benefit approximately 100 organizations and or causes. On the other hand, this will has also been the cause of serious litigation between family members and or the trustee. For example, we see at Clause 13 that Sir Robert bequeathed priceless ivory screen that belonged to the Emperor Jinglong, which was stolen and remains at the center of ongoing litigation in multiple jurisdictions, which again is an episode in itself. Still, this will has been very beneficial to many people, especially General Ho Sai Lai and his children, and my father and his siblings. These were the family members who benefited the most, and one of the reasons for this was because my grandfather, Edward Hotung, Sir Robert's eldest surviving son, died on 2nd July 1957 at the age of 55. When Edward passed away, the probate and estates still had not been distributed. So my father and his siblings received a triple inheritance. They received what Sir Robert left them. They received what Edward had made in his own right. And they received what Sir Robert left Edward. An episode will have to be done on Edward as he had a most eventful life. The reasons as to why he was disowned or exiled and how he worked his way back into Sir Robert's good graces to having his legs blown off by the Japanese during World War II might even need 2 episodes. I should point out, it is not uncommon to be disowned or disinherited or exiled in the Hotung family. My father disowned myself, all my brothers, and a sister. The only exception was my brother Robert. He died at 52 years, and he alone, with my sister Gabrielle, were never disowned. Nevertheless, my brother Anthony and me managed to work ourselves back into our father's good graces before his passing. So, a lot of exciting stories can flow from what I just mentioned. But today, I would like to start with a good and non-scandalous story, which brings me to Clause 12 of the will. Now, this episode might be a little boring unless you're a history buff and resident of Macau and Hong Kong. Clause 12 is special. This one clause in the will was actually performed and executed somewhat perfectly. So I'm very happy about this.
Clause 12 states, I give, devise and bequeath my land and premises known as number 3 Largo de Santo Agustinho, Macau, and my furniture and effects of household use and ornament therein or belonging thereto to the Government of Macau, absolutely provided they shall accept the same upon the following terms and conditions, that the said premises shall be converted into a public library equipped with Chinese books, that my name shall be associated with the building in Chinese which may also be translated into Portuguese at the option of the Government of Macau, or in case the Government of Macau shall decline to accept the said land and premises on the ground that they are unsuitable for the aforesaid purposes, I bequest the sum of $50,000 of the currency of Hong Kong unto the government of Macau, provided that they shall agree to set aside a piece of land in a quiet and convenient place and to erect thereon a suitable building for use as a public library subject to the above-mentioned terms and conditions, and in case the government of Macau shall accept the said land and premises or the sum of 50,000 Hong Kong dollars in lieu thereof subject to the above-mentioned terms and conditions, I bequeath to the government of Macau in addition a pecuniary legacy of $25,000 of the currency of Hong Kong, absolutely to be applied by them as and when they think fit in the purchase of books for use in the said public library, provided always that 1. If at the expiration of 3 years from the date of my death the government of Macau shall not have accepted the said land and premises or the sum of 50,000 Hong Kong dollars, in lieu thereof this clause of my will shall be deemed to have been revoked. Any death duties or taxes payable by reason of my death in Macau on the land and premises or the pecuniary bequests herein contained in favor of the government of Macau shall be paid and discharged out of the assets hereby bequeathed to them and not out of my residuary estate.
Obviously, the Macau government accepted this legacy. The Sir Robert Hotung Library is located in what is known as St. Augustine Square in the historic center of Macau, and it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This mansion was built before 1894 and was originally owned by Dona Carolina Cunha. Sir Robert bought it in 1918. The Macau government has done a fantastic job maintaining it and making improvements. In 2005, a new and modern building was constructed in the rear of the property. The old mansion and the new construction blend well together. Today it is the largest public library in Macau.
As advertised by the Government of Macau, currently, the total area of the old and new buildings is approximately 3,195 square meter plus a garden of some 1,583 square meter. The facility has a seating capacity for some 400 people and a collection capacity of over 100,000 volumes. As the largest local library, it holds abundant information, while also being available for study, cultural activities, and leisure purposes. The library has a building for rare collections, multifunction hall, indoor and outdoor reading area, children's reading area, multimedia area, leisure area, study room, garden, stack room, administrative area, ISBN agency, and various other functional areas, providing lending services for books and audiovisual materials. Sections for reading of periodicals, broadband internet access, music and film appreciation, exhibitions, lectures, ISBN application, ISSN and ISRC application on behalf, etc. The Chinese Ancient Books Chamber is on the second floor of the old building and contains about 5,000 volumes of rare Chinese books, including classical Chinese literature and history composed in the Jiajing reign of the Ming Dynasty. The most precious items are the 16 books from the Jia Book Library Tower, previously collected by renowned modern bibliophile Liu Chenggan, including manuscript of Siku Chuanshu's synopsis by Wang Fanggang, manuscript of records of an accused by Cha Jizhua, Taiping Yulan Ming manuscript composed by Li Fong along with other authors, manuscript of supplements to the history of the comprehensive mirror, topically arranged written by Zhang Xingyao, Chronicle of Zhengzhou by He Jingming, and manuscript of major events in the comprehensive mirror in aid of governance edited and annotated by Li Zutao. On the whole, Sir Robert Hotung Library's collection is primarily comprised of ancient books, works of literature, history, philosophy, art, and architecture, as well as audiovisual materials. The Books Chamber contains about 18,000 books, including about 5,000 ancient Chinese books published before 1912. There are about 94,006 general books, excluding those in the Books Chamber, 6,079 items of audiovisual materials, 62 newspaper titles from various places, plus 250 titles of periodicals and bound back issues for 49 newspapers.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's take a quick tour of the Sir Robert Hotung Library.
Okay, you bringing me to see your old family home?
Yes, this is Sir Robert Hotung's old home. This is where he stayed during World War II. I'll tell you a little bit more about that once we get inside. And he willed this, he left this to Macau and the people of Macau. And it's been one of the best maintained legacies of Sir Robert. You really have to, the Macau government did a fantastic job of maintaining this, upkeeping it, and even improving upon it with a new section of a modern library, which we'll take a look at a little bit later, okay? So the neighbor, Casa Ricci, okay? So next door, our other neighbor, Seminario de San Jose. So you know there's a lot of good holy feelings here, yeah? Nothing bad happens up here, yeah? Okay.
Your father used to live here when he comes to Macau when he was a kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he told me that.
You're telling them that.
Yeah, his father, Eric, he used to live here when he was a kid. And yeah, that was a family home for Lady Clara and Sir Robert in those days. And a lot of the Buddhist establishment in Macau, also founded by the Hotung family, in particular under the assistance of Lady Clara. So maybe we can go inside and take a look.
All right, come on. So this is the entrance, obviously. This is the first gate. As you come in, you have a second entrance there, okay? So anyway, we're in his house today, so come on up. I'd like to start from the top floor, and we'll work our way down, okay? So come on up. Come on. So we come out here. Now, remember, we're on the third floor, okay? So this is, you have a nice garden here to be with. I'm not going to go with you today, but these stairs will actually lead up to the roof. I've been up there before. When my father was alive, they let me go up there. So you have a nice little garden here. Now, this new building is obviously the brand new extension to the Sir Robert Hotung Library. So that would not have been part of the house in the old days. Although you can tell from the steps, this will go into a garden, and we'll go to the other side and see that garden at that time. But obviously, we have a new building here. So you know what, let's come down so you can get a better view. So you'll see from these steps here, this goes up to the roof, okay? Not necessarily something Sir Robert would be doing, but if you come and go to this corner and put your camera down, go ahead and do that. Go walk right there, look down, and you'll get a great view. Okay, so now that view you have there brings you down to the bottom. Now if you come on over here, I'll bring you to the view of the second floor. All right, so on the second floor, we would have had a very nice water fountain going, okay? Now, we're gonna go down and take a look at this, yes? All right. Careful of your steps. You would have had this wonderful water fountain, you know, full of water, probably some goldfish, some carp, and you can see the intricate cuttings. You see the steps there. You have a little pagoda there. You see the steps right here and there. So it's actually some things to look into. You see a broken pot that's put in amongst the rocks. So, and here you have a big conch right in the middle of it. You see the big seashell? See that? All right. So this is the second level. This is the entrance. This is how we just came in. All right, we're going to go back upstairs, and we'll go back and finish up the top floor. Okay, the only reason I'm showing you this is because no one will see it, okay? So this is a little kind of a back garden that is just kind of cut off from the rest of the property after the brand new part went up. So you have a very quiet area here, really nowhere to sit. I don't think anyone's going to be using it. You might be able to see it if you're a student out of the window. So this is an area. Now, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I went up these steps and went up the ladder with one of the security personnel who's just giving me a bird's eye view of the property. But in the old days, these steps would have gone up to the roof. That it's been blocked off now, and thus the ladder. So I don't know, but I think an extra layer was put up there. Okay, we'll go back in.
Okay.
So, like all proper houses, Sir Robert had his own well, which is over here. Today, it's sealed, obviously, for people's safety. But this was a well with fresh water. What is a house if you don't have your own well, right? Okay. So, now, if we turn around, you'll see we just came down. This will be the new side. The old side is on your left. The bottom front, okay? This is because these are now all administrative offices in this bottom front. So what we just kind of explored were the first, second and third floor. And what we'll do now, we'll go to the back end of the property where there's this lovely garden, okay? All right, so let's go see the lovely garden. So this is the lovely garden, okay? Obviously fountains, water. This would have been filled with carps, and it's pretty big. Obviously, it's pretty big. So one would bear in mind that this whole new section here, so when you come here and when you go this way, you can see this whole new section. One part I did leave out is the modern library, which is also very good. And this is behind you. You see this entire glass building is completely modernized, you know. So we're talking about, you know, modern technology and top-notch equipment, things like that. Very comfortable, air-conditioned, everything like that. So you do your studying down there. You need a study break. You come down here for some fresh air, maybe. So, I got carried away with the Sir Robert old house. But one of the best things about the place is the new modern library. And the people who work here are very top-notch people, okay? Now, my understanding is that some of these trees are very particular trees, okay? And as you go by, you'll see the Latin name of some of these trees, okay? All right, so this is all that's like the bamboo section of the garden, okay?
Okay, come here. I'll tell you something. You can turn around.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know you were at this tree, right?
Yes.
So this is the tree that it was here when Sir Robert was here.
Yes.
This tree was here when Sir Robert was here. It was very old.
Yes.
It was as old as the house.
Mm.
When he was here, it was here. So look at this. We're now standing underneath it.
Obviously, it's been here quite a while. It's into 3 parts already. Very nice, giant area of shade here. So, in the old days, you would not have these buildings here, okay? It would have been a clear view. It would have been a nice clear view. So, so you have different materials here on the floor. You see that brick?
Some of these materials, they were actually redo.
You know, my father, do you see these green ones?
Yeah, these are very normal in those days.
When we had 6-packs Link, my father used blue ones.
Ah.
But designed better like that rather than this. This is something new, okay? This is new. All right, this is not.
It was not there.
Yeah.
But I think these are old.
Sure,
these are old.
Have to be there.
These patterns were old.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so
look at this.
Okay, so we have just finished taking a look at the Sir Robert Hotung Library. It's in a great neighborhood. You see over here, we have the Don Pedro V Theater. You know, so that's where the colonials would enjoy their plays and operas and things like that. I don't know if they had operas there. And of course, right here is the Church of San Agostino, okay? And right next to that is a Jesuit residence, speaking to this very, very strong Catholic roots in Macau, okay? So I said I would explain why Sir Robert was in Macau during the war years. Sir Robert's 60th anniversary occurred on December 2nd at the Peninsula Hotel. Several days later, the Japanese consulate visited Sir Robert, and he said to Sir Robert that he looked frail and unhealthy, and that Sir Robert should leave Hong Kong and go to a climate that was better suited for him to recover his health. Reading between the lines, Sir Robert left Hong Kong on December 5th. 3 days later, the Japanese attacked Hong Kong. So that's why he was in Macau. However, he didn't stay there for the whole of World War II. In fact, he returned to Hong Kong at least once, and this is official records. This is when Colonel Sawa, in essence, met Sir Robert and sent him back to Hong Kong, where for 1 month, the Japanese tried to get Sir Robert to endorse what they were doing, basically to endorse the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere, and to also say bad things about the Americans and the British. And they wanted Sir Robert to help in the reconstruction of Asia after the end of the war. Well, Sir Robert declined to agree to any of this, and he was then returned to Macau. Now, this was confirmed by Sir Ronald Campbell, the British ambassador in Lisbon, and he reported to the Foreign Office that on 16th May 1942, Sir Robert Hotung had returned to Macau. Now, there's another alleged visit by Sir Robert to Hong Kong, and this was a secret visit. In essence, one of the clans in the New Territories helped him get in and help into Hong Kong so he could do what he had to do, and then helped him get back to Macau. This clan showed me where they hid Sir Robert, or where their parents told them they hid Sir Robert. So it's an interesting story, but obviously I need to speak to the clan before speaking more in detail about that. At the end of the war, as the Japanese were lost, a British warship come en route to Hong Kong, picked up Sir Robert from Macau, and that is how he officially returned to Hong Kong. So that explains why he was in Macau, and also shed some lights that he actually wasn't there the whole time. He did have one return to Hong Kong that's official, confirmed by government sources, multiple government sources, and there's allegedly a secret return. So, all right, so that's it. I think it's time for lunch, right? All right, let's eat. Let's eat, yeah. I can sit here. Okay.
嗱，好眼腫，戴翻呢個嘢先。好啦，會唔會好腫啊？我隻眼。
Oh no, it's fine. Oh yeah, yeah, go ahead. Whatever you like. Whatever you're comfortable.
你是最漂亮的，你知道嗎？
呢個完全冇化妝我樣嚟。OK， 咁咧呢度咧 the liver noodle and liver soup 咧最好食嘅，全澳門最好食嘅豬膶麵就係呢間。好多人都知道嘅，佢個名就叫金飛。咁咧就聽過，但係唔知去邊度揾，因為唔容易揾嘅。咁好近何東圖書館嘅。咁咧就 if we go to the Hotung Library, this is actually quite close by. And 咧呢條街咧，以前咧我哋有陣時喺條街度有啲好老嗰啲叔叔伯伯咧 ，remember the one that sells the butter?
Yeah, the CIA guy.
Yeah, the CIA 有間鋪頭叫 CIA， 咁佢簡寫佢真係唔係 CIA 嚟嘅。咁佢買啲牛油餅嘅。咁嗰度嗰個老太太咧，佢見過何東爵士嘅。
That's right.
佢細嗰陣時見過，佢又見到佢係好似係一個係呢個線啊，有架車拉住佢嘅，即係好似人力車咁樣嘅。咁咧就話佢好長須嘅，嗰啲小朋友咧就爬上個人力車度掹佢啲須，又喺度玩嘅同。
Yeah, give out candy too, right?
又俾糖佢哋食咁樣。咁呢條斜路呢度附近呢幾條街咧，阿何東爵士嗰陣時日本侵略香港嘅時候咧，佢咪喺呢一度住咗幾年噶嘛。咁呢幾條街都係佢成日上上落落嘅。咁呢個位咧，而家就係好近嘅，就係呢個金沙豬膶麵。呢條金沙豬膶麵嗰啲好食法咧，一陣間嗰碗麵嚟咗你就知嘅。
Yeah, very popular.
好好食嘅，你睇下啲成日啲排到都等，我哋呢度等。嚟嘅，我哋豬血啊 ，blood of the pig。以前咧細個嗰陣時我都有食啊。 嗰啲係豬紅嗰啲豬紅，但係我唔係好食㗎啦，以前細個食。
唔該，今日叫一碟豉油啊！係。
嗱，呢個咧就係咧遠近馳名嘅豬潤麵啦。佢入面咧有枸杞嘅，有黑木耳，有枸子、枸杞，有薑。
好。
有好多嘢，咁咧就補血養生。嗱，有啲薑好重薑。
Loads of ginger。
係啊。
好重薑。
係啊。嗱，嗰啲豬潤咧係好鬆化嘅。嗱，佢一咁樣嘅豬潤麵，睇下啲麵，一樣有黑木耳，嗰啲湯好靚。我食一啖睇下先啦。
我哋係成筆點算啊？
你哋都係唔好嚟啊！你哋嚟得太多咧，到時我哋冇位啊！你都係唔好嚟啊！你哋，我食晒佢算啦。應該係呢頭先係。啲湯都好飲啊！啲湯咧，啲湯好夠薑啊！即係如果生完細蚊仔嗰啲咧，即係做完手術嗰啲人啊，啱啊！呢啲補血啊！
Try to use the proper end of the chopstick. Okay. Yeah. All right. Not everyone can get that done right.
俾啲麵你啊！好飲啊
Nice and hot.
你呢個清湯，我呢個係麵湯。
Yeah.
好正，超好味道。唉，我以為我可以食10碗，原來都唔得嘅，好飽下嘅一碗都，因為好足料啊。好嘅，我呢個係 OK， 好食到不得了，好食到，好好食真係好好食。每一次行過呢一區都一定要嚟食啊！你真係超好食。所以咧，我啲澳門朋友叫我咧，千祈唔好宣傳啦，因為如果唔係澳門人冇地方食嘢啊！哎呀，真係唔好意思啊！真係好食嘅，但係真係呢個係其中一個秘密嘅地方嚟。
OK 啦，好嘢，
拜拜，下次再嚟。拜拜。